Hello, and welcome to the demo video for the end of the second work cycle for the H2 project. As a reminder, a major goal of the H2 project was to replace the existing codebase for our online self-deposit application for the SDR, which is out of date and has direct connections to Fedora, which is at end of life. The new application replicates all the required features of the existing application, including the ability to assign individuals permission to create and manage collections, as well as to deposit content, the ability to version items, both the metadata and the files, and publish the new versions, the ability for collection managers to turn on a review workflow that prevents depositors from publishing works until they've been approved by either a collection manager or a reviewer, and the ability to acquire a Perl for use prior to actually completing a deposit. So this workflow is frequently used for sharing data associated with scientific and other publications, and allows the user to know where the data is going to be once the deposit is finished, to be able to submit that URL in proofs for manuscript, for example. And of course, many other specific detailed features for providing metadata and setting licenses and visibility and release options and all sorts of things like that. In addition to replacing those required features, we also planned to provide high-value, compelling new features and an improved user experience for our campus stakeholders. And I'm going to focus today on reviewing some of those new features with you while I do a brief demo of the app. So this is our new homepage, and our goal here was to provide clearer information for the users about who can use this, what it's for, and when and why to use it. So if you click on the big red Start Here button, you are authenticated into the system. If you haven't logged into Stanford with your student ID, then you'll be asked to do that first. And you'll see that there's a message that's popped up asking me if I'd like to continue working on my draft of transect maps for Monterey Bay. A running theme through many of our improvements is that we want to help users quickly understand where they have unfinished tasks and to find those unfinished tasks and get them completed. So this is one of those things that if you have something in progress, the system says, do you want to finish that? And if I clicked on yes here, then it would take me to the edit form for this particular object where I could finish up my work. We're going to do that a little bit later, so I'm going to click no right now so I can show you a few other things. Now, one thing that I can't actually demonstrate for you, but I'm going to tell you, is that we've also refined permissions for access to the system so that depositors now only see their own works. So the way the existing system works is that users can only see the collections that they have permission for, but they can see all the items in those collections. So they can't edit anyone else's work, but they can see that they're there and they can actually open them up and look at them. This has, I think, caused confusion on two levels. One is if a user's in a collection that has something like 300 items in it and they're just looking for their one thing, it can be very difficult for them to find it. And this likely contributes to the fact that we see a lot of people creating multiple drafts for the same thing because they can't find the draft they had in progress. The other point of confusion I think it creates is that not many, but we have some users who are under the impression that this system, this application, is where everyone should go to look at their works. And this system is not public. People should be looking at Perl pages, but I think that is perpetuated by the fact that they can see other people's works here. So depositors will only see their works, regardless of how many other works there are in the collection. I have administrator privileges, so I see everything. So I can't show you here how I'm only seeing my things, but that is a new feature that we have added. Another thing that goes along with sort of the theme is that we have some new, clearer indicators for people about works in progress. So you'll see that there's this section at the top of the page, and this is new, that has deposits in progress. So when you log in, you are immediately presented here with a full list of all the things, all of the items that you might have in progress. That's for all depositors. If you're a collection manager, then in this section you can see all of the collections that you still have in a draft state, and then you could easily get to them and complete those drafts and publish or deposit those collections again. If you're a collection manager or a reviewer on a collection that has the review workflow turned on, then you will see this approvals table, and this will show you all of the items in those review collections that are pending approval, that a reviewer or manager needs to have a look at and approve so that they can get published. One more thing that you'll see both here on this page and at the top of the work edit form is this progress bar. So this is showing me here really at a glance that for this item, the information I'm missing is in the author section of the form and the terms section of the form. So I have some idea before I even go over there what I have left to do. So all of that is trying to help people really quickly and easily identify the work that they have left to do. So let's go to this Transect Maps for Monterey and look at a couple of things. So here's our progress bar up here. One thing I want to point out is that all through this form and also through the form for editing collections, you'll see these little blue eyes, and each one of these has information about this particular field in the form, what it means, tips for filling it out. These little blue eyes are designed to answer the most frequently asked questions that we get about filling out the form, and also to provide pointers to help avoid the errors that we see most commonly. So I need to fill out a couple of things, authors and terms, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to put my name in there as an author. And then I just want to show you really quickly, one of my favorite things is the auto-generated default citation. So we have this in the existing system now, but you have to click on it in order to create the citation, and then it doesn't update if you change the content in the form. This updates. So you will see here that it has my name as the author and then 2019 as the year. And if I add in another author, let's add in Hannah Frost, and then I scroll back down, you'll see that it has automatically added her. And I think if I scroll properly here, right, if I change this date, you can still see it, the citation down there. If I change that to 2018, then it automatically updates down here. And I think that's just really lovely, one of my favorite things. Okay, then I need to agree to the terms, and I'm going to deposit this work. Another thing we've added is real-time information here for the user that the work is still in progress. So another problem we kind of had before was that users would immediately see an error and want to change it and not be able to, and then email us because they didn't understand that they were still processing in progress. And so that notification is an attempt to give the user more information about what's going on with the system. So another thing I want to show you, couple of other small things. We now have the ability to search through items within a particular collection. So not across all of the collections, but within an existing collection, we have the search box. So you can search for things like terms in the title or a druid. This is going to be really useful for collection managers, administrators who are looking for content in collections that are large, that have dozens or hundreds of items in them. The last feature that I want to point out to you is something that's a little bit more subtle, but it's a really, really nice new feature. So sometimes we have users that will deposit a work, say this one here, this has been deposited, and then we'll open a new version. So this has a new version in a draft state. So they thought, okay, I want to make some changes here. So let's go look at this. And it says, oh, updating email address. That's what they put in this box. And then they'll leave it sitting here for several months. And frequently they won't know what all of they've changed, or they change their minds about wanting to change things, and they don't really know what they've touched. And what they want to do is just revert this back to the current published state. And in the existing system, we don't have any way to do that. But yay, in H2, we can do that. So I can just click discard draft, and it says, are you sure you want to do this? It can't be reverted. And I say, yep, that's just fine. And that one goes back. Let's see, where Arthroplura, this one right here, Anthoplura is now just showing as deposited again. So, in addition to replacing the existing features that we had and providing compelling new features and an improved user experience, we also wanted to make the self-deposit application more accessible. And so in the next part of this video, Astrid Usong, our UX designer, is going to be showing you some of our new accessibility features.
Hi, my name is Astrid Usong. I'm the UX designer for the H2 project, and I will be telling you about some of the accessibility features. So first, we made sure all the color contrasts and font sizes were WCAG AA compliant. And then I performed manual testing on all the pages and ensured all the tabbing was in the right order. So this allows keyboard-only users to navigate the site more easily. We also didn't rely on color to navigate or to provide any critical information. And for those using screen readers, we place the appropriate tags throughout the code to ensure the website is read aloud in the right order and describing the correct information as it's laid out on the page. We also include a skip main content link, so screen reader users could skip all the navigation and header info at the top of the page and get right into the heart of the page. And you can't really see these features, but in the code, I'll just show you, I'll just show you really quick. Here, skip to main content is on all the pages, and this just allows the user to be able to get to the content on the page faster as opposed to having to listen to the header and navigation info being repeated over and over again. I'll demonstrate the level access tool I use to run the accessibility check. This is the software the university uses to check our site's accessibility. So on the page itself, I'll run a test and it provides me with any violations that I come across. So I'll just click current page, it'll run the test. And thankfully this page doesn't have any confirmed violations. So I did this for all the pages, and if there were any violations that came up, I would file a bug and the developers would get them fixed. And that's all for the accessibility. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.